Hello and welcome to the Watchful Citizen, a local access program presented by the Lancaster County Democratic Party. I'm your host, Jane Egan. Today's guest is John Yoakum, Chair of the Lancaster County Democratic Party. John, welcome to the program.
Thank you, Jane.
It's good to see you. You've been here before.
Yes.
You are the Chair of the Lancaster County Democratic Party. And you have been for a number of years now. Can you kind of tell us a little bit about how you came to be chair? What is a little bit about your history and how you came to be involved in politics?
Sure. I have to blame my mother for dragging me through politics. I remember in '72 walking precincts with my mother, helping her out there. And
so she was active in
she was active in the
politics.
party,
Okay.
along with other community functions. So I've been walking precincts, handing out literature since 1972. And I thought that was enough being a good volunteer, just hitting neighborhoods and helping Canada get the literature out. And then raised family and took the boys out walking with me when I did neighborhoods. And, eventually, now that my wife and I are empty nesters, we thought we'd get more involved again. So my mother suggested, John, you have a unique set of skills that maybe you should think about being the chair of the party. So I started attending Lancaster County Central meetings and studied for a few months to see where they were at and what their goals were and what I thought could be improved. So then I took over, realizing that financing was one of their biggest obstacles. I took over the fundraising committee, and that's a lot of fun. We do special events, and like the Patriots dinner, which is coming up on the 20th of February, and other events throughout the year. And then in 2000, let's get the years right, 2005, I took over as associate chair, and I served 2 terms as associate chair, and then I turned 3 terms as chair.
Marvelous. It's quite the history. A lot of service.
Yes.
To the party and to the county. So you said you had some goals for the party when you first became involved. What are some of the highlights of the achievements over the years?
Sure. When I first got involved with the Central Committee, the only permanent thing they had was a telephone number. We were working out of the trunks of the cars, borrowing meeting spaces from union halls and restaurants to conduct meetings. And one of my goals was to have an actual address and
a physical
address
for the party to
work out of. Mm-hmm. And I'm glad to say in 2007 we acquired a building, and just last year we upgraded to a much larger building, and we're able to have campaigns operate out of there, which is really, really fun to watch.
So it's not just for the staff and the members and the executive board to use that space, but it's made available to campaigns as well.
Oh, yes.
So that they have a space as well that they can work out
Most
of.
definitely.
Wonderful. So that's one goal. You acquired physical space. What are some of the other goals that you've achieved? Some of the highlights.
Some highlights. Being able to bring all the campaigns together, because, from the large national campaigns like for president down to the National Resource District, people have a shared common goal, and when they work together, we do better. So building a team that can work together with all the different personalities involved is fun to see when it comes together.
So has the party grown in terms of membership over the years since you've been involved?
Well, yes. The membership ebbs and flows according to elections. During presidential elections, a lot of people get real excited, but now we're able to capture information with database systems, and so we can continue to energize our volunteers for other races or other causes that we champion.
You mentioned fundraising, that you have an event coming up called the Patriots Dinner. Can you talk to us about that a little bit? When is it going to be? Where
Sure.
will it be
The
held?
Patriots Dinner will be February 20th at the Center for People in Need on North 27th Street. I believe it's our 32nd,
Second, maybe,
32nd?
I believe.
Okay. 32nd Patriots Dinner. And it's to honor volunteers who have helped the party throughout the years.
So you're going to be recognizing people that have worked in the party
Yes.
over the years.
Yes.
Wonderful. What else do you do there?
What else at the Patriots Dinner?
Yeah.
We highlight the current slate of candidates
Okay.
through a dessert auction. Besides dinner, you can acquire dessert if you're so lucky.
So who brings the candidates bring these desserts and then they're auctioned off?
Yes, they
Okay.
are. And why they're auctioning off, they kind of describe themselves or their campaign as they describe the dessert. It's kind of a unique way to highlight candidates and have a fun time at it.
Okay, so the participants then can get to know the candidates a little bit better in person.
Yes.
Great, wonderful. So there's some other important events coming up that the party is sponsoring. One is the caucus on March 5th. Can you describe to us a little bit for our viewers who haven't participated in one, what a caucus is?
Sure.
And how that all works?
Sure. So let's back a little history. In 2007, the Nebraska Democratic Party thought that maybe Nebraska wanted to be a little relevant in the presidential selection process. And if you remember back in 2008, it was neck and neck between Barack Obama and Hillary Clinton. And then it came to Nebraska, and President Obama won Nebraska and then continued to win. So Nebraska in 2008 is the pace setter. And hopefully, again this cycle, Nebraska will be the pace setter again. It allows neighborhoods to come together and meet with other neighbors and decide who you would prefer to be your presidential candidate for the Democratic Party. So on March 5th at 6 o'clock, all across Lancaster County, neighbors will get together and discuss and decide who they want to be a presidential selection.
And where do they get together? Can you kind of tell us how this all operates?
Sure. In Lancaster County, we meet by our individual precinct, voting precinct. There will be several voting precincts in most locations. If you look at the website NEB Caucus 2016, you can look up your location of your precinct meeting.
I think that's .org.
.org, I do believe so, yes. So you know, it's a little confusing because the county party pays to rent all those sites. So we don't have as many sites as election commissioner established, one for each precinct. We have to protect our financial resources as much as possible. Yet we try to calculate how many people will turn out so we try to accommodate both needs of being fiscally responsible and yet inclusive as possible.
And like in 2008, which was a contested presidential contest, we've got something going like that with Sanders and Clinton again on the Democratic side. And so you're anticipating a big turnout again?
Yes, we are. Watching the Iowa caucus just the other day, we noticed that, most of the people show up at the last minute. So I encourage, our doors open at 5 o'clock, so I encourage everybody to get there early.
Get in line and
Get in line and get registered, get in the door, and meet your neighbors, visit with your neighbors, have a good time.
So how do people find out where to go to caucus? Because that's going to be an important thing, is to go to the right place.
Sure.
And I believe there's 33 sites that are set up.
We have 33
in Lancaster
sites.
County. So how does somebody find out where to go?
You can go to the website, Nebraska Caucus 2016.org.
Okay. Will I have some other information about the process that goes on once they get there?
Yes. So if you don't know your precinct number, then there's a link to the Secretary of State's, so you can look up the precinct number. And after you know your precinct number, then you could go back to the Nebraska Caucus website and determine where your precinct meets.
So I'm an independent or a Republican or someone who's not committed or signed up ever and is going to vote for the first time in this election. Do you have to be a Democrat to participate in the caucus?
Yes.
Okay.
The caucus is Democrats selecting their presidential preference. So you need to be registered as a Democrat at the time you sign in. But we're trying to be as inclusive as possible, so if you're not a Democrat, you can register at the caucus location.
But it would be better to get that done beforehand.
Yes.
To move the process along that evening.
Yes.
So we encourage people to figure out if they're going to participate and then get the proper registration done beforehand.
Exactly. Yeah. Now, one of the complaints about Iowa is they did not have enough voter registration forms because they didn't expect it was the largest turnout ever for them. And so I encourage our viewers to make sure that they have a form filled out. And even if you fill it out and just bring it to the caucus site, you don't have to mail it to anybody if you don't trust that system. But,
okay.
Be ready.
If somebody has to work that night and can't come but wants to participate, or if they're off to on a vacation to Europe or something, is there a way for them to participate in the caucus, or are they just out?
No, I'm glad to say that Nebraska is the only state in the nation that allows absentee preference selection. So we have a system in place. If you go to nebcaucus.org, you can download a form to request a ballot selection. It's actually a presidential preference selection. Got to have terminology.
It's actually a request.
Yes.
It has to be mailed into the state party, right?
Yes.
And then they will, in turn, send out
the actual preference card,
which has to be either dropped off or mailed back to the state.
Yes.
Or our office.
No, it all has to go through the state office.
Okay, but it can't be dropped off or mailed to us and we take it over there. It has to go directly to the state.
Has to go to the state party office.
Thank you for clarifying that.
Yes.
Right. So, anything else? We've covered the caucus, the Patriots dinner coming up.
Sure.
We also have a convention coming up.
Yeah. One of the things we do at the caucus, besides selecting the president, is we elect delegates to the county convention. This year the county convention will be May 21st, 1 o'clock at the Center for People in Need. So that delegate selection will happen during the caucus. Also during the caucus, if time allows, you can bring motions to be considered for our platform, or resolutions to be considered for our platform, to be included in Lancaster County's platform and the state platform if you so desire.
So it's a stepping process where you go to the caucus and you agree to be a delegate,
Right.
go to the county convention, and then from the county convention, if you want to continue on, you can go to the state convention.
Correct.
And then state convention, you can go to the national convention, which
Yes.
I think is going to be in Philadelphia.
Yes,
later this year.
so the state convention will be June 17, 18, 19th, and the national convention will be July 25th, 6th, and 7th. So if you want a chance to go to the national convention, you have to start with your local precinct caucus.
So did you mention where the convention is going to be held yet?
I believe the state convention will be in Kearney.
Okay, and then the county convention?
Will be at the Center for People in Need.
Center for People in Need, okay.
Yes.
So if people want more information about those things, where could they go? They go to the...
They can go to our website, Lancaster County Democrats.
And we have to say Nebraska so that you don't get sent off to Pennsylvania, because
Yes,
they have a Lancaster County
yes,
too.
occasionally as chair, I get an email from a very nice person wanting to volunteer
Right.
in another state.
Another state, right.
So, and then I want to talk another thing that's equally as important is Nebraska still has a primary, that we have many candidates for legislature and county races and NRD races that will need our support also. So just because you went to the caucus doesn't mean you're over. So the primary is on May 10th, and we really, because the legislature particularly is nonpartisan, we need to make sure all the Democrats get out and vote in that also.
So if you vote for your preference for the presidential candidate at the caucus, does that mean you're not going to be voting then for the presidential preference at the primary?
Right.
Is that how that works?
That's how it works.
Okay, but the other candidates down the ballot still need to have your vote. So
Yes.
you need to do two things.
Yes.
Okay.
You need to show up at the caucus, help select our presidential choice,
Mhm.
and then you need to show up at the primary and help choose our other candidates.
Okay, great. So, again, you're stepping down after many years of service. Do you have some advice or some unfinished business that you'd like to talk about to our viewers as far as the party's concerned? And are you good to go fishing?
I hope so. Advice-wise, you know, if you want to help our community, get involved with the party in whatever level you can. You know, for many years, I thought I was doing good. Like I said earlier, just walking precincts, and that's important. But then when I started getting more involved with fundraising and all the other committees that we have that you can volunteer with, it's really rewarding. You know, how many people can say, hey, I helped that person get elected?
Absolutely, yeah, excellent. So, anything else you'd like to add or talk to our viewers about today?
I think we're pretty close
Pretty
to good. Yeah.
Do you have
so-
some, like I say, unfinished business with the party that you'd like to see someone else carry on?
I don't know if we have unfinished business, but I do hope that we can maintain a physical presence in the community, maintain a moral presence in the community. As chair, I attend a lot of things throughout the community, a lot of different events because that's who we are. We're the big tent party,
And you're
we
the
need
face
to
of
be
the
out-
party.
Yes,
so,
and we
yeah,
need to be
that-
out there.
You need to be out there, right. Okay, well, we have been visiting with John Yoakum, Chair of the Lancaster County Democratic Party. And I appreciate your coming in and visiting with us today.
Sure.
It's been very enlightening, and we hope that if you are a voter or a citizen, that you will participate in one of our upcoming events, the caucus, the convention, our Patriots dinner. There's lots of opportunities to come and join the party and help out with continuing the process of being involved as an informed citizen, which is what we try to do here at the Watchful Citizen program. So that wraps it up for another program of the Watchful Citizen. Thanks for joining us.